Today, we mark an extraordinary milestone, the 150th anniversary of the 501 jean, the original riveted denim pant, the first modern blue jean. I'm Tracy Panic, historian at Levi Strauss & Company and director of our archives. Jacob Davis was a tailor living in Reno, Nevada, and he was a customer of Levi Strauss. In a letter that he wrote to Levi in 1872, he described a new innovation. He wrote, "The secret of them pants is the rivets that I put in those pockets." And he invited the company to take out a patent with him. The U.S. patent granted to Davis and Levi Strauss on May 20th, 1873, was the birth of the modern blue jean or riveted denim pant. Those first riveted pants were made of denim and, surprisingly, duck. In anticipation of this 150th anniversary, we spent a lot of time in the archives pulling out the oldest overalls. I knew that there was a missing link to discovering the design of the early 501 and that it lay outside of our archives. In 1964, when the National Museum of American History opened, Levi Strauss & Company donated one of their earliest waist overalls. Walter Haas Jr., who was a then CEO, and his father, Walter Haas, who had been the prior CEO. The two of them were at the Smithsonian holding this early pair of Levi's. I knew it was important to get to the Smithsonian and take a look at that early donation.
Here at the museum, we're looking to document artifacts that change history and to collect artifacts that help people connect history to their own lives. And Levi's does both.
Going behind the scenes at the National Museum of American History, we had a chance to look at a duck piece from the early 1870s. It was a fabric that didn't last long, and denim eventually took over. It looked unworn. It was in impeccable condition. We opened the buttons on the button fly, maybe for the first time because they were super stiff.
In addition to the placement, there's no rivets here. Do you see this additional insert there? That little gusset.
It had a back patch that was very clear. You could read some of the handwritten sizing. This garment, because it was so well preserved, was giving us clues to answer questions about what the earliest of our Levi's looked like. At the end of all of our research, we invited the designers into the archives to review our results and our discoveries.
So I'm Paul O'Neill and I'm Design Director for Collections. I've been designing and working on Levi's vintage clothing for the last 14 years.
Paul and I decided that the best strategy was to pick 4 of the earliest waist overalls in the archives, lay them out side by side, and take a look.
March 16th, 1875 repatent date was not on at least one of the garments. So we knew that this potentially was an earlier patch. You know, there was a certain piece missing, which was the big discovery when you went to the Smithsonian, and we could match that extra piece up and finalize the text. So with all of this research, my biggest ambition was to recreate how this jean would have looked when it first came to the market. We wanted to present this in a time capsule. So as you'll see, we have May 20, 1873 on the lid, a copy of our patent, and it's really what we're celebrating this year. So the first thing we'll notice here is the patch, right? The patch is in the center back. We also notice that there's no like serging or overlocking on the seams. So if we look here, we'll notice this gusset, which is inserted into the crotch seam.
I'm excited about what we've discovered. We can now confidently say we know what the early design of the 1873 waist overall looked like. Happy 150th birthday to the 501 Blue Jean. Thanks for joining us for another episode in the Levi's Archives.